Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the captivating tapestry of South Africa of the Sahara, a land that stretches from the historical depth of time to the contemporary challenges of the present. Join us as we embark on a journey through the heart of Africa, exploring its rich history, distinct boundaries, and also confronting the formidable challenges it faces today. South Africa and the Sahara are distinct regions with the unique histories, geographical features, and also contemporary challenges. This group assignment aims to explore the natural environments and resources, also the environmental issues in both regions. South Africa has a complex history marked by colonizations, apartheid, and also the struggle for freedom and also the equality. The Sahara, on the other hand, has a rich history associated with ancient civilizations such as the Carthaginians and also the Trans-Saharan trade routes. South Africa is located at the southern tip of the African continent, while the Sahara is a vast desert region stretching across North Africa. The Sahara is the world's largest hot desert, covering countries like Algeria, Libya, Egypt, Mali, Niger, Chad, and also Sudan. Both regions face contemporary challenges. South Africa deals with issues like social inequality, economic disparities, and also political transitions. In the Sahara, challenges include political instability, conflicts, and also the environmental issues related to desertifications. South Africa experiences a variety of climates, including Mediterranean, subtropical, and the arid. The Sahara, in contrast, has an arid climate with an extreme temperatures and limited vegetation. South Africa has diverse features, including the Drakensberg Mountains and the Great Escarpment. The Sahara is characterized by ancient rocks and geological formations like the Hauger Mountains. Plateaus are prominent in both regions, with South Africa's Highveld and the Sahara's Hauger Plateau. Major rivers such as the Orange River in South Africa and the Nile in the Sahara. These both play a crucial role in the region's ecosystems. South Africa hosts diverse ecosystems, from the Cape Floral Kingdom to savannas in the north. The Sahara, primarily a desert, has a unique flora and fauna adapted to arid conditions. Both regions face challenges associated with drought and desertifications, impacting to their agriculture and also their livelihoods. Intensive agriculture practice and climate change contribute to soil quality losses in South Africa and also the Sahara, affecting to food productions. While life in both regions is under threat due to habitat loss, climate changes, and also poaching, the introductions of tropical disease like malaria poses a health risk in certain parts of South Asia. This affected both human and also the animal populations.
Africa south of the Sahara is a region rich in ethnic groups, language, culture, and traditions. There are 1,000 languages spoken in sub-Saharan Africa. Among the ethnic groups in Africa south of the Sahara is the Yoruba, which is one of the largest ethnic groups in Africa. The Zulus are the largest ethnic group in South Africa and are famous for their history. The Himba are shepherds famous for their costumes and unique appearance, and the Maasai are famous for their distinctive clothing, bead decoration, and traditional ceremonies. European colonizers call this group tribes, but it is difficult to define tribe precisely. Although sub-Saharan Africa is characterized by its rich ethnic and cultural diversity, there are also shared cultural elements and cross-cultural influence that have developed over the centuries. These shared cultural aspects are often the result of historical interaction, trade, migration, and human movement. Among the cultural elements shared in this region are language differences, art and music, ceremonial traditions, culinary tradition, and traditional clothing. For thousands of years, Africa was home to many different types of people mixing and migrating with their cultures. Cattle herders from the Nile Valley, such as the Maasai, live in tension with the farming Bantu people, such as the Kikuyu from Kenya. The Zulus under leaders such as Shaka Zulu played an important role in shaping the history of South Africa. The Zulu kingdom was a powerful entity in the 19th century. In South Africa, the San and Khoikhoi hunters and gatherers were gradually displaced by the Bantu tribes. Africa indigenous groups, particularly in West Africa, established empire based on the wealth gained by the trade in silk, gold, ivory, and slave. The African Empire of Ghana, Mali Empire, and Sona Empire had wide influence. A legendary story about the fall of the Mali Empire where ruler Mansa Musa made a stopover in Cairo, Egypt during a 14th century pilgrimage to Mecca. According to contemporary sources, Musa produced so much gold during the visit that it caused its value to plummet on the Egyptian market for several years. To the south, Great Zimbabwe was the center of an extensive trading empire. Great Zimbabwe was a medieval city that served as the center of a powerful government in South Africa. It is famous for its stone architecture and trade. By the early 1800s, Bantu people in southern West Africa, such as Swazis and Zulus, were fighting each other for this territory. Arab Muslim expansion from 600 AD affected the eastern and northern parts of the region. Muslims carried their Islamic religion but also accommodated local practices, including polygamy. The introduction of camels allowed Arab and African traders to exchange goods along several well-marked routes across the Sahara. The expansion of Islam later sparked holy wars as Fulani warriors and fanatics seized grazing lands. Although the Muslims failed to oust the Ethiopian monarchy on many occasions, they destroyed a large part of the region. Africa's first orientation to the outside world is in the direction of the Arab countries bordering the Red Sea and the Indian Ocean, while the Arabs established trading centers along the east coast of Africa, often on islands such as Zanzibar and Papua. African Arab culture developed with India and Persian influences. The first European colonizers in Africa were the Portuguese. They reached in the coast of Mozambique in 1498. At first, the Portuguese came to Africa for trade purpose, but they became interested in the gold available in Africa. But there was one problem. Trade from sub-Saharan Africa was controlled by the Islamic Empire that extended along the northern coast of Africa. As the Portuguese expanded their influence around the coast, Mauritania, Senegal, and Guinea, they established trading posts. And then the Portuguese success in overthrowing many Arab merchants. The Portuguese established a colony on the Cape Verde Islands in the Atlantic, which became an important starting point in the transatlantic slave trade. From these islands, they were involved in the slave trade by bringing slaves from the area around the Sahara to America. European ships transported African slaves to the Americas. The Portuguese slave trade devastated both Angola and Mozambique. However, the slave trade slowed after Britain abolished slave shipping in 1808. When the slave trade declined from the early 1800s, all of Africa south of the Sahara except Ethiopia and Libya became European colonies. Explorers such as Henry Stanley and David Livingstone penetrated the interior along the main rivers, meeting many of the rulers of African empires and passing on knowledge from their travels. David Livingstone was instrumental in mapping the Zambezi River and Victoria Falls. His explorations contributed to European understanding on the interior of Africa, while Henry Stanley is best known for his role in the colonization of the Congo. While David and Henry were exploring Africa, the Industrial Revolution was developing in Western Europe, resulting in demand for raw materials such as tropical plants and minerals. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, French and British companies established plantations to produce cocoa and palm oil in the coastal forests. In the late 1800s, the opening of the Suez Canal caused the United Kingdom to expand the port of Aden on the Arabian Peninsula to refuel its ships on the Africa coast. In 1884 to 1885, European countries competing for world power met at the Congress of Berlin and divided the African continent into spheres of influence of France, England, Germany, Portugal, Belgium, Italy, and Spain. In some places, Europeans lived, settled, and made a lasting impact on local political and economic life. But apart from Europe, some other colonies settled in South Africa. In the mid-1600s, Dutch settlers owned the port of Cape Town to support their shipping trade. In the 17th and 18th centuries, the Ottoman Empire had similar trade and diplomatic relations with the tribes in the coastal region of South Africa. However, their influence was not as strong as other European colonies. At the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century, there were several attempts at colonization by Germany in some regions of South Africa, especially in Namibia and Tanganyika. Namibia was known as a German colony before and during World War I. Some colonial powers such as France and Britain provide basic education and healthcare. They also give limited experience to Africans in local government, especially when traditional political institutions were in place and the chiefs or kings were available. New colleges, hospitals, and other infrastructure were built by the colonies in centers that established educated professionals in the European ways. The French policy of assimilating Africans into the French way of life tied their colonies more closely to French institutions. In addition, Portugal, Belgium, and Germany provide little infrastructure outside of mining and plantation areas and limit the level of education and prospects. The Cold War, which lasted from 1947 to 1991, was marked by ideological rivalry and strategic interests between the United States and the Soviet Union. The United States and the Soviet Union competed for ideological and political influence in the newly independent regions of Africa, including the countries of the Sahara. Both blocs sought to gain allies and promote their ideologies. During the Cold War, these superpower rivals supported world governments or encouraged rebel groups. In 1980, other countries in Southern Africa formed the Southern Africa Development Coordination Conference to oppose South African apartheid. In 1992, the name was changed to the Southern Africa Development Conference, which focused on reducing economic dependence on South Africa. When the Cold War ended in the early 1990s, African countries lost their strategic importance and that made it difficult for these countries to attract new investment. Many countries in Sub-Saharan Africa experienced high birth rates, resulting in rapid population growth. In the period from 1980 to 2005, the total population of Sub-Saharan Africa increased from 380 million to over 700 million. Death rates in most countries plummeted when modern medicine was used, but birth rates in many countries fell slow. In general, the most densely populated areas are found bordering lakes, in river basins, especially on the Nile and Niger rivers along the western and North African coast, and in certain highland areas, while the sparse settlements are in desert and savanna areas. Thus, Rwanda and Burundi, located in the East Africa highland, are the most densely populated countries in Africa, while Western Sahara, Mauritania, Libya in the Sahara, Botswana and Libya in the Kalahari and Mali are the less densely populated. 2/3 of the population of most countries in Sub-Saharan Africa remain devoted to the dominance of subsistence agriculture in the economy. Some groups in the Sahara, such as the Tong and Nuer tribes, who live outside the city, adhere to a nomadic lifestyle or pastoralism. They move around in search of pardon for their livestock. In some areas that have water resources, such as oases, but agriculture can be found. This agriculture sometimes uses traditional techniques to overcome water limitation. While African cities have their geography, several cities along the Trans-Saharan trade routes, such as Timbuktu and Agadez, had a role as trade and economic centers. Some large cities around the Sahara, such as Algiers and Rabat, have as many good as modern cities with more advanced infrastructure, and the capitals of countries in the Sahara region, such as Bamako or Niamey, at the center of government and administration. Brazzaville and Kinshasa, on the banks of the Congo River, illustrate various forms of colonial urbanization. In addition, cities along the Sahara coastline, such as Dakar, can function as smart cities with an important role in trade and transportation, while shanty towns are slums found in all African cities. Sub-Saharan Africa has a high HIV prevalence rate compared to other regions of the world. Social and economic factors such as poverty, gender inequality, and limited access to education and health services can be among the causes of the spread of HIV. Africa south of the Sahara accounted for 67% of all the people living with HIV and 72% related to AIDS in 2008. Despite progress in promoting HIV treatment, access to treatment remains a problem. Some people may have difficulty getting ARVs, which are needed to manage HIV and prevent progression to AIDS. After signing the UN Declaration of Commitment in 2001 on AIDS, the rate of new infections in the region has dropped by about 50%. Much of Africa's soil of the Sahara remains a farm or quarry that provides cheap raw materials to the rich Western world. Some African countries and cities are more integrated into the global economy because young ports and airports connect commercial farms and mining to reach the national markets. Yet, in some countries, public energy projects along with connections save for funds into private bank accounts to work. In the 1980, the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund established new guidelines for grants and loans. Multinational mining companies and makers of coffee, tea, and chocolate products continue to use cheap African raw materials. For example, a multinational aluminum producer had financed the Water River project in Ghana that generates hydroelectricity to refine bauxite. The cheapest possible aluminum ore. In 2004, the World Trade was championed African products to gain wider access to world markets. In July 2009, African heads of government made to change the Organization of African Unity to the African Union. The AU is a pan-African organization that aims to advance political and economic integration across the continent. The AU supports inter-regional cooperation through initiatives such as the African Single Market, which aims to create a free trade zone across Africa. As a result of flights to the Western colonies, many countries in Central and West Africa continue to have financial link with France. After independence, the CFA was shared by 14 African countries. CFA refers to two currencies used by several African countries with a historical relationship with banks. Its value was tied to the common fund and guaranteed by the Bank of France. Central Africa is the region of Africa that straddles the equator and is drained largely by the Congo River system. It comprises, by common definition, the Republic of the Congo, the Central African Republic, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Gabon is usually included together with the Central African Republic because of the same historical ties. Both countries were once part of French equatorial Africa. Rwanda and Burundi are also often considered part of the region due to their long and administrative relationship with the former Union Congo. Agriculture remains the main economy for 2/3 of the population of these countries. Most agriculture is assisted using traditional methods to grow tropical roots, grains, fruits, and vegetables. However, only a small portion of the surface is cultivated due to the combined effect of difficult to cultivate soil and poor transportation facilities. Cash crops such as cotton and coffee introduced by French plantation owners were mostly produced on small holdings. Central Africa has significant natural resource potential, including in the fisheries, forestry, and mining sectors. Countries such as Gabon and Cameroon have long coastlines, providing diverse fishing resources. However, there are several problems in the fishing sector, including overfishing, fishing practices that damage the environment, and a lack of management of fishing resources. The rainforest in this region provides abundant forest resources. Countries such as the Republic of the Congo and the Democratic Republic of the Congo have significant areas of forest. Unsustainable deforestation practices can cause deforestation and habitat loss for flora and fauna.
Western Africa. In examining Western Africa, Marked by external orientation and environmental diversity, it stands in sharp contrast to Central Africa. With a significant coastline facilitating global connection, the region's natural landscapes range from equatorial rainforests to arid Sahara margins, influencing historical development. In 2010, demographic variations across the 15 countries highlighted environmental diversity, while post-independence collaboration efforts faced challenge. Nigeria, as the largest and most populous nation, reflects regional struggle with historical conflict and economic mismanagement, emphasizing the complexities of the area. The dynamic interplay of history, environment, and socio-political factors in Western Africa creates a captivating tapestry of challenges and opportunities. The multifaceted ethnic diversity in Western Africa, influenced by a complex interplay of tribal, religious, and colonial factors, exerts a profound impact on governance, economic disparities, and diplomatic relations. This is notably evident in Nigeria and Liberia, where ethnic affiliations wield significant influence over political power struggles, while Senegal grapples with challenges hindering regional integration and impacting diplomatic and economic ties with neighboring nations. Agriculture takes center stage in West Africa, showcasing diverse practices such as subsistence farming in the south, livestock herding in the north, and commercial farming diversification in countries like Cote d'Ivoire. Noteworthy contributions from Nigeria, Ghana, and Cote d'Ivoire drive regional economies, while sustainability becomes a key focus in the face of challenges in food production. Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire further bolster economic dynamics through infrastructure and energy initiatives, coupled with the burgeoning gold mining sector in Ghana. Moving on to the forestry, fishing, and mining sector. Challenges emerge in West Africa's forestry, fishing, and mining sector, manifesting as struggles with deforestation and preservation in Nigeria. Fishing dynamics face competition and reliance on EU license for foreign exchange, leading to overfishing and impacting stocks crucial for countries like Niger and Mali, where inland fisheries play a significant role. West Africa's manufacturing sector, contributing 3 to 20% of GDP, exhibits notable regional disparities. Countries such as Nigeria and Cote d'Ivoire engage in car assembly, and the devaluation of the CFA franc stimulates local production, particularly in the vibrant cloth manufacturing industry. And lastly, the service sector in West Africa experiences gradual growth, primarily through government employment that faces challenges stemming from structural adjustment. Tourism develops slowly, except for the notable rise in route-seeking visits by African Americans. Additionally, microlending emerged as a pivotal force supporting enterprise, with Burkina Faso's successful restaurant serving as an exemplary case, fostering employment, providing education support, and promoting entrepreneurship, particularly for women. Next is Eastern Africa. Eastern Africa, shaped by historical Arabian and Indian influences, features a diverse environment from the Ethiopian highlands to savanna grassland. The region's rich tourist industry attracts millions annually. Ethiopia, resilient against colonization, faces complexities marked by Eritrea's independence and ongoing tensions. Former British East Africa, including Tanzania, Uganda, Kenya, and Zanzibar, gained independence in the 1960s. Political unrest in Kenya after 2007 elections and Uganda's history of dictatorships highlight contrasting narratives. The 2001 re-establishment of the East African Community strived for economic integration, but challenges persist, encapsulating the intricate tapestry of Eastern Africa. In exploring Eastern Africa, a mosaic of ethnicity shapes the region, with predominantly Muslim communities in the north and Christian or animist groups in the south. coastal dynamics involving Arabs and South Asians influence businesses, while the return of Ugandan Asians impact Uganda's economy. Amid historical rivalries and linguistic diversity, inland traditions like Maasai cattle herding and Kikuyu cultivation contribute to the cultural richness of the region. Agriculture is paramount in Eastern Africa, given limited minerals and slow industrial growth. Key exports like coffee and tea face diversification challenges, with over 60% engaged in subsistence farming. Kenya's successful diversification stands out, and livestock exports, imports, and climate change resilience efforts, particularly in Kenya and Uganda, shape the regional economy. And finally, in the realm of services and tourism, East Africa's service economy is generally underdeveloped, except in Kenya. Kenyan tourism, once a top earner, faces challenges from global economic slowdowns and local instability. Tanzania's tourism industry adopts an egalitarian approach, expanding since the mid-1990s, despite challenges related to staff payment and vulnerability to global economic cycle. And the final part is Southern Africa. Nestled at the southern edge of tropical climatic environments, Southern Africa unfolds as a region of captivating geographical diversity. The northern parts exhibit seasonal tropical climates marked by summer rains that gradually decrease southwestward towards the arid landscape of Namibia. Adding to this complexity, the Republic of South Africa features mid-latitude climates, experiencing winter rains at the Cape of Good Hope and summer rains along its southeastern coast. This climatic variety, coupled with a series of plateaus drained by major rivers like Zambezi, Limpopo, and the Orange Fault system, made Southern Africa an attractive hub for European colonial settlement. Countries within Southern Africa showcase some of the best records of economic progress on the African continent, driven by mineral wealth, diversified agriculture, and a robust manufacturing sector, with over a third of Africa's real mileage situated in this sub-region. It stands as a vital economic powerhouse. However, beneath this economic prosperity lies a tragic immediate past and present, as civil wars, particularly in Angola and Mozambique, plagued the region during the latter half of the 20th century. Southern Africa's rich diversity is characterized by varied ethnic groups, particularly in former Portuguese colonies with few Europeans. South Africa presents a unique blend, while Madagascar reflects influences from Africa, Asia, and European endeavor. Migration patterns involve temporary workers, refugees from 1980s conflict, and a sizable undocumented migrant population. Prompting recent shift in permit relations, immigration rates, increased deportation, and scrutiny from human rights groups. Next is agriculture. Agriculture in Southern Africa sees 80% of people in very poor countries relying on subsistence in farming, notably with corn as a staple even in mining or tourism regions. South Africa farming diversified during sanctions, producing various crops. Export trends include Zimbabwe's shift to vegetable, Malawi's focus on tobacco, tea, and coffee, and Madagascar's production of coffee, sugar, vanilla, clove, and cacao. However, land ownership issues impact small farms, and dropping marketing controls benefit commercial farms, leading to land conversion pressure. Zimbabwe's land changes in the late 1990s resulted in reduced commercial production and social impact. In the realm of mining, South Africa stands as a global powerhouse, dominating platinum productions and contributing significantly to gold, diamonds, iron ore, and strategic metals. Challenges such as declining global gold market share, rising mining costs, and the impact of HIV or AIDS on workers pose ongoing concerns. And last but not least, Southern Africa's service industries, particularly in South Africa, encompass shops, banks, government jobs, and tourist facilities. Botswana and South Africa witnessed significant tourism growth with a focus on wildlife conservation in national parks, while Zimbabwe's tourism faced a decline due to political troubles in the early 2000s. Post-2009, recovery under a power-sharing government is uncertain. Seychelles and Mauritius remain significant tourist destinations in the Indian Ocean, attracting 0.7 million visitors.